Ladies and gentlemen, today we are starting our conference, FxCon 2025. So we have three dignitaries within us who will be giving their perspective on the various aspects of our business. So now all these three people are from different segments of our fraternity. Like we deal with many kind of regulators. So RBI, enforcement, FI in the morning we had a webinar, you might have all heard it. So that is one of the regulator and accounting part. So Funny sir will take care of the enforcement related information. Desai sir, no need to tell, he is an expert in RBI related information. And for accounting, Mr. Ramesh sir.
Good evening, Pani Kumar Garu and Mr. C. Asthana, and my friends Gandhi and Mukesh. I am not a stranger to FEMTA or to the persons who are sitting in there. मैं अजनबी नहीं हूँ आपके लिए. मैं जब रिजर्व बैंक में कोई लोग आ रहे थे कुछ न काम से FFMC के काम से तो we were having the Reserve Bank foreign exchange department as a friendly look to you. We did understand what the problems of the FFMC. I used to help them while documentation part of it. Personally, I'm a retired manager from Reserve Bank of India. My entire career has gone most on FERA regime, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act and Foreign Exchange Management Act. हम आपको कोई तकलीफ हुआ तो कोई समझ ले, कोई बात नहीं. उसके बाद मैंने रिटायर होने के बाद FEMTA के लिए कुछ लोगों को लेक्चर देने के लिए, कुछ क्लासेस के लिए, कुछ एडवाइस देने में, ये FFMCs का होने दो, बैंक्स को होने दो, I used to help them for which I can able to do. आज का दिन मैं कोई ऐसी कुछ चीज़ बताना चाहता हूँ जो आपके समझदारी में ऊपर नहीं, it is not beyond your knowledge or beyond expectation, but you missed while understanding that risk profile of the customers, etc. What RBI thinks about the FFMCs, what their outlook towards the business operations. Then that will be the topic. I will pick up after to my senior colleagues taking that picture. We will have a more interactive session on this. Okay? Thank you, Asthana sir, Chartered Accountant, and Pani Kumar sir. They both made me in a ground to speak further for you. Let me go back to the very core issue of the FFMCs. We have seen in certain regional offices, Hyderabad is not an exception one, that extensive scrutiny of the FFMC books and accounts have been undertaken. It is not the criteria of the Reserve Bank of India, or for example, I will say that, how many have seen the license copy issued by the Reserve Bank? Both the sides. कितना है license copy देखा है देने. First, it will be there an RBI emblem में, and say that, no, and then it will come in exercise of the powers conferred under the Section 10 of the Reserve Bank of Foreign Exchange Management Act. उसके बाद देखते, we are pleased to लाइसेंस दिया है आपको, वी आर प्लीज टू, एंड देन FFMC का नाम आ जाएगा, एंड देन सब्जेक्ट टू कंडीशंस है. वन कंडीशन ऑन द ओवरलीफ इज दैट the FFMC or the license partner should comply with the money changing activities master direction. That is the face of it. That was the second. Para number second shows to you that in case of the FFMC is not following the guidelines of the money changing activities or instruction direction issued by Reserve Bank of India, it can cancel the license. We have to read the license where I am placed. 1 crore 50 lakh 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 1 crore 50 lak Therefore, whenever the FFMC is doing the business, we should always remember that whether I am complying with the conditions specified by the Reserve Bank of India. And the other person, generally we will see the face of the license, generally what is Reserve Bank emblem, and see that the under section 10 it is there, FFMC name will be there, pleased to authorize you to do the money changing activities under the so and so. At the back of the license, how many have seen the back side of the license? Back side of the license. First condition is that you should maintain authorized signatory list who are authorized to do the business on behalf of the FFMC. How many people are maintaining that register on a day-to-day basis or a monthly basis as and when it changes undergoes? This is the second primary condition for the FFMC to do the billing. And the other conditions specified in the license, and why I am very specifically mentioning that, where you had to apply your mind and where the Reserve Bank is concentrating that the license is issued based on these conditions. Just because making an application first time there will be a scrutiny, Reserve Bank will not ask any questions. Once the license are issued, you are under the purview of the Reserve Bank of India. Therefore, whatever the conditions that specified in the license, the FFMC should adhere it and should know what it is. Why the Reserve Bank is mentioning those conditions specified there. Other conditions specified on the reverse of the license is that the FFMC should adhere to the AML KYC guidelines. The third condition, that other one of the AML KYC guidelines you had to mention them. Other two are very minor thing, that is that sale and purchase between the branches, it should be not be taken as a sales. The primary term, if it not repeating that, you are bound by the section 10 of the Foreign Exchange Management Act, and Reserve Bank has the power to revoke the license if the FFMC is not adhering to the guidelines, any contraventions are there. Third major point of is that you have to maintain your authorized signatory list and not the least your AML KYC guidelines. Going back this structure is that, this is the basic one. I will go back to the little bit history of how these FFMCs have been carried out, because in 2005 there was a study was going on how to enhance the money changing activities, particularly with reference to the regular individual customer. They should be hassle-free foreign exchange transactions with the authorized persons. Because the growing of the foreign exchange transaction post 2002, 2003, it has increased. The FFMCs earlier were proprietorship concern and partnership concerns were there, FFMCs were available. Reserve Bank was kind enough was giving a license to them. After a certain period, they have put some restriction that the license, that person should be in a company incorporated, the company side. On this background, Reserve Bank first time has issued one more circular in 2006, that categorization of authorized persons. But there was much change is not there for FFMCs. They mentioned that FFMCs they had to purchase the currencies from the public and sell it to two are there, either to travel abroad and business. FFMCs are authorized only on three categorizations. If it is not repeating, you can purchase from any person, any individual, is a resident or foreign national, anything else, for any person you can purchase, there is no restriction. While selling it, there is a restriction is there. License specifies that you have to sell the foreign exchange, let the foreign exchange, it is foreign currency notes and coins, to person by travel, only travelers. Second person is business purposes. Beyond that, nothing is available. Some of the offices has made it very strict, very conservative looking of this particular analysis of this definition is that whether the FFMCs are allowed to sell the foreign exchange to the students going abroad on studies abroad. This is a debatable question, but as far as the strictly mentioned that, it is not available. License categorization or the license was issued, but it's a debatable question. Only the RBI can give a clarity. Even some correspondence, the RBI has given a clarity that based on the master direction issued and then the liberalized remittance scheme, they have mentioned one paragraph that only authorized dealer AD category 1 are can release the foreign exchange students going abroad for their studies. That is a debatable, and that will come back. Because what I am trying to make you understand that where you are placed based on your license. Okay? Beyond that, my friend has earlier told that, Panikumar sir, even though PMLA has come in 2002 and it is come in 2005, the drastic changes under the PMLA has come in the year 2009. Earlier, when the license was conditions were issued for predominantly for compliance of the AML KYC guidelines, very limited to the FFMCs. It was not as stringent as to the commercial banks or NBFCs, etc. When 2009 has come, the reporting regulatory and the reporting entity concept has been introduced in the PMLA. RBI has issued one detailed guidelines or circular in 2009, that APDR Circular 57 generally we call it, in 2009. They have mentioned the other money changing activities guidelines, other money changing, what to do, sale and purchase, etc. And then they have included conceptually detailed guidelines and KYC guidelines. That stringent part of his come. Then RBI was more focused, apart from money changing activities, compliance of the FFMC under the KYC guidelines is also emphasized. If you see that license, one of the licensing conditions is that even though it is in a broad spectrum, AML KYC guidelines, but they didn't see that. But master direction issued by the Reserve Bank of India or prior to that APDR 57 is KYC. Know your customer guidelines. That apart from that guidelines, you had to go very scrupulously the compliance under the KYC. Of late, the Reserve Bank is more focusing on the compliance of KYC guidelines, more emphasis. Not that other emphasis are there, your money changing activities, that whatever the master direct sale and purchase, etc. And that fine, it goes around. But I am repeating it that you must make your own efforts, making the KYC guidelines adherence is paramount. Some of the offices are mentioning that while going through the inspection of the FFMCs, there more paragraphs have been brought in about the non-compliance or non-adherence or deficiencies in the AML KYC policy. More and more paragraphs have been introduced. There are very few paragraphs of the money changing activities. Heart to heart, the persons who are sitting here are very experienced and more than 20 years experience in the money changing activities. They know how much sale, how much purchase, whether it is in $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, where to whom I have to sell, what is the currency component that I can sell. This concept is very good beyond the knowledge of the Reserve Bank. There sometimes I feel envy that they are good knowledge than the RBI inspecting officials. But AML KYC guidelines, it is not going into the minds of the FFMCs. It is one of the part of the your PMLA. See that even though in a few minutes back we say that FEMA Act will not it is not part of the predicate offences or under the PMLA. It does not mean that the FFMC are outside the scope of the PMLA. Therefore, my submission to you is that you go back and see what is your AML KYC policy. How to draft the AML KYC policy then. Before going that drafting into the AML KYC policy, Reserve Bank, while issuing this 2006 circular, there is one more sentence they have referred is that Reserve Bank relies on statutory auditor certificate and concurrent auditor certificate relies on the importance of the audit is emphasized right from 2006 onwards, and it is being carried out further. Other aspect of it, where in that also Reserve Bank do the inspection if they have the doubt over that they require that the FFMC should be inspected. The importance of the concurrent auditor and the importance of the statutory auditor is well established in the RBI's compliance under the licensing conditions. It is part of it. Chartered accountant are the legal entities. There, whatever the certificate that has given, it will be accepted. That Reserve Bank believes it. The other point that apart from that, your FFMC license conditions, your AML KYC guidelines, your internal control and audit system should be strengthened. There is no doubt on this. RBI believes that all the FFMC are well equipped with their knowledge while money changing activities. Unless otherwise they do willfully any mistake that is there, they are digging their. They won't do any mistakes. To my understanding, they won't do any mistakes. While releasing the foreign exchange to the USA, you cannot more than $3,000, you cannot give it. That is basic condition. When you cannot purchase any foreign currency in notes, you cannot give INR component beyond $1,000 in case in a foreign national beyond $3,000. Everybody is aware of it. This is paramount. When I am emphasizing this audit part of it, who are the first auditors of the company or entity or the FFMs? Who are the first auditors? Yourself. I used to go into and interact with say that I want to make it to that you are the first auditors of your company. You are the first inspectors of your company because you have drafted your AML KYC policy, you have drafted your concurrent auditor policy, you have discussed these policies with your concurrent auditor and your statutory auditor. You make them the statutory auditor and concurrent auditor, sir, these are the information and documents. We are not having any good exposure on this issue. Please enlighten us while drafting it, while implementing it. Reserve Bank is focusing on these issues. The other aspect of it is that, no, when you are going for an audit, is more of their digging the cases, they more understand the more of this one. My friend has already said that while the FFMC should adhere to the so many documentation should be obtained. That is micro level analysis will be done by the auditor. RBI inspections will come, what they will do? Inspection is very lighter moment. Any inspection has whenever go, it is not the FFMC license or any FFMC or any other entity's inspection is a checklist. They are only advisory part of it. RBI inspections is only advisory part, but it is enforceable one is auditor. Is a legal entity. RBI believes them. RBI believes them, understand that they are more knowledgeable while enforcing these guidelines to the FFMC. Other point that I want to mention, go further about that. When you might have observed that AML KYC policy is been when the RBI was issued APDR Circular 57 and now 1st of January 2016 now more guidelines have been issued. When you are running through this Reserve Bank, that is the Department of Regulation has given it, but they have not referred the regulated entities are there one who has the license holder of the FFMC. It is a very comprehensive. It is focused then to the banks, major banks. Banks will have the technology base there, but FFMCs are very limited scope. But RBI should have given a more a liberal approach to the AML KYC guidelines, which is very more stringent to the banks and some NBFCs. It is my understanding that. Apart from one is concurrent audit, one is your KYC policy. You have not shown interest. Whenever any license has to be issued an application, you take it on the KYC policy, full document and print out and sign and give it to them. This is generally. But no, hard to hard say that no FFMC has read the master direction issued by the Reserve Bank of India AMN policy. One concept, for few offices we have seen, they have taken a printout of them, signed and given to the RBI. See, they pointed out that it is the banks are allowed to open an account because banks are there, they can open an account. FFMCs cannot open an account. See that no, even account holder, who is the account holder for FFMC? No. Mean that the officer one who is going through that, they didn't read it, they did not understand it, but their level of understanding is less. Where they are connecting it, this statement, where they are connecting it, your fit and proper criteria. Means that you are not having a sufficient knowledge to deal with the foreign exchange, and you don't have the knowledge about this, about AML KYC policy. You just pick the printout and sign and give it to me. You are not, when they are quizzing it, that blank faces are coming. Means they are not able to implement what the Reserve Bank thinks that to understand and implement the KYC policy. The other aspect of the one more aspect the Reserve Bank while doing the inspections is that now you might have understood about this. They are first talking about the what is your concurrent auditor's findings. But concurrent auditor, either it will be in a monthly or quarterly. RBI inspections will come or 2 years or 3 years, depend upon the categorization of the risk categorization of the FFMs. Who are the first person that implementing your own policy? First check yourself, and then second one is your concurrent auditor, third one is statutory auditor. Statutory auditor is giving a certificate that the concurrent auditor internal control systems are working satisfactorily. If any deficiencies are AML KYC, they are going back to that. You are weak in your own internal control systems, and your concurrent auditor scope is very limited. And your statutory auditor is giving as a routinely this certificate without understanding it. But Reserve Bank cannot ask the statutory auditor is a legal person. They will. The first person to be asked the quizzing is your own one. During my interaction with some of my good friends, I used to tell about that when this 2006 circular, when the money changing activities are there, the potential of the market, buying and selling the foreign currency notes and coins, very limited. What is your capital during that period? Is 25 lakhs. It was not undergone any changes. And by going through the entire analysis of this entire process is that the FFMCs are mostly family related business. Mostly. When the 2006 onwards, 2009 when the PMLA was being stringent, and 2009 to 2014 and 16 is a very turbulent period for in case of very Black Money Act and the fugitive acts have come very well. But during that, but RBI emphasizing that your management should aware of the developments, either technology and also compliance of the companies. Board of directors are there, wife and husband. Husband generally involves in the business, wife generally will not be available, just as in a, you can see that. What RBI thinks that board should have some knowledge about the, apart from money changing activities, your AML audit and also that. The intention of the Reserve Bank. corporate structure has not developed within the one. RBI was telling about that you have to develop your internal control and structure of your company. 25 lakhs are there, only 2 directors, one is, they are promoter directors, typically we can say that, the promoted directors. No third directors having the knowledge about one, money changing activities and your audit knowledge and your KML basic policy. One should be there. Maybe within your family or your own friends, you take help of them. Induct them as an independent director, let them guide you. But corporate structure is not there then, but simply private limited. Because of these lacuna or the gaps, over the development from 2006 onwards to the 2025, the foreign exchange business, even a retail business, has developed exponentially. But where the knowledge and understanding the risk mitigation policies of the FFMC has not developed to that extent. We saw parallelly it is not developed. It is only 25 lakhs. If a branch is there, 50 lakhs. If you take the time value of the 25 lakhs in 2006, now if the time value of the 25 lakhs is less than 5 lakhs. You can generate 25 lakhs within a day. Now such is the GDP level if you go there. But knowledge-based understanding level is to be understood very carefully. Other things that we want to see, that when the technology is developing it, AML, KYC, you can say that who is the risk categorization, who is it? Simply everybody is working in customer is a low risk. For FFMCs, no account base. Like banks, when you are opening an account, there is a big checklist out there. But FFMCs, there is no account system. The one person has given full KYC document, sign it, all these account based then. See, we have to say that this way. FFMC is not having an account because at the time of taking that person into your database, you should do primary scrutiny. If an individual is a low risk customer, you will take that your PAN card, Aadhaar card, etc. while selling it, etc. In case of private limited company, you can take it as a medium risk. In case of for example, in the listed company, you can see that high risk, or if it is in a foreign national is coming here, then you put it into a medium risk. Some of the FATF grey list countries, blacklisted countries, you can keep it in a medium and high risk. There is no restriction for selling a foreign currency notes and coin visiting in a North Korea. There is no restriction for visiting to in a Somalia. But they are under the one is in a blacklist, another is in a grey list. But what type of documents you had to procure at the time of selling the foreign currency notes and coins to them? You have to develop your own product. You cannot say that, no, a person is visiting Somalia, I can see that in a medium risk. No. These are the other things, documentation part of it, I think so you have fair knowledge about that, when you are taking the corporate client into your database into that. You will see that their MOE, that then ROC certification, MOE and their LUMS letter and their board resolution, etc. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Every time we are taking it. Absolutely fine. Whenever when I went to the inspection, see that they will generally maintains this one. But at the time of implementation, there is a lacuna, lethargy. That is costing the FFMCs. The person has come, मुझे पता है, वो उन्हें मालूम है. I know him since then, but we ignore it. Where updation their signature, changes have come, we just ignore it. That is come, it is called a periodical updation. I'm not going little bit further is a periodical updation of the KYC documents. It is a part of your PMLA. Due diligence, CDD, enhanced due diligence, everything, the KYC master direction has been borrowed from PMLA that under the reporting entity guidelines. Sir. Section 14 All it have been brought into the end, everything is brought in. One master direction applicable to the banks and the NBFCs and it is being implemented. The primary thing is that we maintain good policy and audit policy or AML KYC policy at the time of implementation, when you are put into action, when into that, we fail to do. Where the RBI is pointing out. Signatures. I will tell you one beautiful example about this. And a person is coming, myself is coming to say that Shanti Forex Private Limited. Say that I am going to USA, give me $500. He will ask me that give me one form A2 I have given. It is my request letter. It is my request letter. Form A2 is my request letter, unless this is my other mandatory documents, PAN, visa, etc., 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 everything is given. And then he will quote a rate. Sir, the rate is today 86 rupees 50 paisa. Fine. Then he will generate in a sale memo. That is in an invoice. Then he will ask me to sign. I will sign. He will also sign. Authorized person will sign. What is the document says? Interpreting it is a contract between a seller and buyer. Unless both the signatures are there, the contract is valid. Otherwise, no. Why the RBI saying that the signatures are missing? Means contract is not established. Your sale itself is not in accordance with the law. First one, again, it is against the violation of the FEMA, is the secondary one. Why we are insisting? But I want to make this point very clear that why the person has to sign. When I am coming there, you are quoting a rate, I am agreed to pay. 87 rupees 50 paisa. Sir, it is acceptable one, then I will sign the document, otherwise I will leave. Then agreed price exchange of INR. Unless you exchange your sale memo, then the contract is completed. Then the FFMC sale 500 rupees exchanged with INR, that contract is completed against the documentation. I am telling you what is the importance of your sale memo. Other aspect of your sale memo, whenever the person is traveling up that, but the customs official may ask that where you got it, that $500, etc. But the FFMC has issued in a certificate that is in a contract note. Whenever you see that no contract note, aapko pata hai, when you are dealing in the stock market, when you purchase and sell them, one contract note will be digitally signed or signed. That is the same thing, same meaning. It is bounded by Contract Act. Even though you are issuing a certificate on your letterhead duly signed. That's where you place it. When you omit it, even though your policy guidelines specifies that, I will do, while implementing it, you failed it. When RBI wants to have some more, even similarly with the same thing, your encashment certificate, etc. Then. Other things I want to make it very point of view that apart from when the license was issued, when we told about the money changing activities of the one, second one is master direction, the AML KYC, that KYC diagram. Third master direction, it is your reporting, that is all your FLM 1, 2, 3, 7 and your fit and proper criteria and your annual certificate, etc. has been stated in the master direction under the reporting side. And next one is your master direction on liberalized remittance scheme, which is applicable to certain paragraphs where you can see them. Fifth one is a miscellaneous remittances on master direction. These are 5 your controlled master direction issued by the Reserve Bank of India. You need not go through the entire master direction of reporting, but you see only which is applicable to the FFMCs. Those are all FLM 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 8 are one is the daily consolidation report, 8 is a monthly consolidation. Rest of the things you are the transactions being reported on day-to-day basis. Everything. Other thing why I am referring to the miscellaneous remittances master direction is that a person is coming who has already purchased a foreign exchange earlier and is coming back to and surrendering the license then. I may be an individual, I may be a representative in a company private limited in which the FFMC already sold it. How much I can, you can say that, no. How much I can tender the foreign currency and notes coin to the FFMC? What are the unspent balances? जो बच गया, जो ट्रैवल होने के बाद मेरे पास जो बच गया वही मैं दे सकता हूं. कितना परचेज किया $500 से, उसे ठीक है, इट्स एवरीथिंग इज फाइन. If I am giving in a $3,000, what you will say? The FFMC part of it, what you say that is a good prospect, good business, $3,000 आ रहा है मेरे को, it's a good, fine. Yes, it is a business call. What I am doing the mistake as a person, what the mistake the FFMC is doing it. How I got $3,000 in cash? The FEMA has given one a beautiful liberalization is that a resident individual can keep $2,000 in his pocket, no questions asked. $2,000, no questions asked. But when coming back to you with the $3,000, what is the due diligence you have done? You have done a beautiful KYC policy, etc., and everything you have done. But while purchasing it, you missed it. See, what the importance of understanding is that we try to read some of the RBI guidelines and etc., where we are likely to, one, it is maybe an error, or we'll say that forcible error or a mistake, forced error. Unknowingly you are doing it. Maybe, but you are doing with a genuine, but other person is watching you, that is Reserve Bank. And immediately see that $1,000 is come, my neighbor is there, he is also watching how Desai has got that $3,000. Huh? My neighbor is watching. See, because of not only the person, see that the FFMC also will drag into. I told you the initial say that even though the contraventions under FEMA are not the scheduled offences under the PMLA, but this transaction may lead to under the PMLA. Fine. See, I'm not making you see that, no, I'm trying to make you to understand the provisions. You don't have $2,000, absolutely nobody will ask you to see that, but $3,000. But of course, CDF form, you are well versed about that. Well versed about CDF, 5,000 cash and beyond cash and other checks more than $10,000, if it is say that. As far as possible, you take the CDF and you endorse it. Last one, you will get, at the last endorsement, you will keep the original CDF with you. Absolutely, there is no issue. Sometimes, no, I will come back when the risk categorization part of it will come. These are some of the objections or findings of the Reserve Bank. And the third one I told you because of that you are not exposed to the reading of the master direction of miscellaneous remittances, which is sometimes it is applicable to the FFMCs also. For example, I am going to see that, I have see that $3,000, you don't know, it's absolutely fine. See that at the time of, sir, you can see that I went to the USA, you have released the $3,000, I came back, immediately I surrendered the $3,000 to you, fine. You have the reason, due diligence, you have done it. The FFMC has released the $3,000 to USA, he is eligible amount for me to draw $3,000 from any authorized person, that person is. While surrendering the $3,000, I am referring to that earlier. Enhanced due diligence has to be completed from where you got it. Sir, earlier I purchased it from an FFMC, I have the sale memo. That is a due diligence. Okay? But it is one by one transaction we can quote and tell about where you can do, where you cannot do. But it should be proved then. At least I'm protected and the FFMC is also protected. Beyond that, some questions will be asked then. Earlier I was discussing with my friends during my interaction. आपका कितने बजे तक है सर? 6. Okay. And the AML KYC guidelines, they have said that no risk categorization, how you revise or enhance or your policy, the risk categorization part of it. I will go back to the one small one on the reporting of master direction. There are FLM 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are there perfectly. There is no issue. FLM 1 is daily consolidated statement, FLM 8. Both of you, if you read it then, FLM 1 should not be having any negative balances. Your control report, I think so some of the software they will generate, control report, they will see any balances mismatching it, USD or Euro, when you see that, no, it will throw an alert, it will give a negative balance. First, FLM 1. FLM 8, because consolidated it may give or it may not give. FLM 2 is your cause issue or your TCs, now TCs are even see that duty has to be there. Even RBI specified that when you are blank TCs are there, you should report into. Other control report 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 6 that and 2 and 7 are corresponding. When you surrender it to the TCs by 1, it will come under 7. Your control main report 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 is your purchases. 4 is purchases from other FFMCs, 5 is sales and 6 is that sales to other. We believe that generally a person can travel abroad in a 15 to 20 times because of thanks to the technology and business expansion, global village and etc. But earlier in 2005 and 6 it was very difficult to travel. Now it is very competitive to go abroad. Even if you have the passport, you can pick up in a flight in the night. That's not an issue. Earlier it was not the case. A person generally can travel 15 to 20 times in a year. Who said that? Because based on his profile and so that he can travel. Whenever the person is coming very regularly, the data will be captured in FLM 5. Okay? Your data will be captured in FLM 5. When you are doing that, walking in customer is a low risk customer. Every time Sudhakar Rao Desai is coming and purchasing in $5,000, $200, $300, $500, $1,000, $2,000, his entitlement up to $3,000, he's purchasing that. When you give a track of it, when my profile is created, my CRN number is created, customer number, CN or CRN number, whatever the term they use is there. Whenever you type it in your system, the details will come. We see that go on selling it. Why Sudhakar Rao Desai is going abroad in a particular country, etc. We have to do internal study. That is called the profile of the customer profile. Whether it is earlier it was a low risk, whether it is doing a high risk or medium risk. Your policy you can devise that a person can go abroad for 10 to 12 times or 12 to 15 times in a year, it is a normal. You check it that through FLM 5 in a 1 quarter, how many times this Sudhakar Rao Desai is traveling. Okay, 10 times in a quarter. Okay, how he has purchased the foreign currency notes and coins, whether it's in bank transactions or he is giving in a cash. Okay, less than 50,000 INR, less than 50,000 INR, I can pay cash to that. How frequently is going? One tag that Desai is going. Second tag tick mark is that how he is purchasing either through in a cash or bank check, etc., etc. That one you can say. If it is going, sir, 10 times he has gone in the first quarter, he is under the watchdog. That is called red flag. We call it otherwise. watchdog में है ये, देख रहे हैं इसको क्यों, why is purchasing so frequently. And second quarter is also appearing, then there is a need to. Because internally we have seen the shifted Sudhakar Rao Desai low risk to the medium risk तक ले लिया, low risk से medium risk हो गया then. When Desai is coming for next half year, again 10 times हुआ, then you had to change his category. You have to change this category to medium to the high risk. Then immediately you have to report to your board. Board. I see that no, I was telling that you have a corporate structure. And my CA will tell about the corporate structure. You have the remuneration committee, audit committee, etc. Then you will see that you will run away from this cabin. You will run away. See that, want to see that board. You have to report to the board, Mr. Sudhakar Rao Desai, previous half year with this many times has come. And as a policy, we are shifting to the first earlier to low risk to the medium to the high risk. Fine. It is internal document. There is no need to communicate to Sudhakar Rao Desai. But what is the your compliance side? You have to the board you take an approval, you refer to the FIUIND. Your job is completed till that time. Let the FIUIND take their own analysis about that. If it anything finds it will come to him. They will report. But due diligence, reporting liability on the FFMC. How the Reserve Bank will come to know? They will do this kind of an exercise. Before they come to the inspection, they will do this kind of an exercise. For example, do see that it is an online, because if I want to say that a company which is regularly going for their companies deputing their individuals, 3 to 4 people, say that they can draw $3,000. They made the payment through in a bank account. They draw the 3,000, 4,000, $12,000. They went to one country where is a low profile of compliance, either for their imports or say that certain countries are say that the imports, unless they give money, they won't release the goods. Bribe. These people will go there and place the amount there and bring back the goods back to India. How to identify those people? Even though they are, as per entitlement, they are drawing the foreign exchange from the FFMC, you have taken the absolute records. Nothing is there in that. Still, you are not doing your job of customer profile revision. It is not under the FEMA. It is under the PMLA. It is a violation of the AML KYC guidelines. RBI emphasizing this. Okay, this has been happened. Again, the control report, FLM3 and Z. Similarly, FLM5 also you can make it. Surrender. Earlier I see that no unspent balances are there. How many times is that? Every time $2,000, kitne din ho jayega? I can keep my $2,000 in my pocket. But RBI the regulation didn't say that no, how you have earned it, etc. By way of gift, anybody is coming. Every month I am coming with $2,000. Hai thoda. You may not be knowing it. You may not be knowing that. Even small placement. My friend Panikumar has said that while introducing the PML, it is called placement. These are all called the placement transactions. These are all we don't know where it is going. That layering part will go after that. These are the placements. RBI emphasizes that no, you go through the AML KYC guidelines, what exactly the happening technologies are there. Every mindset is changing, right from 2006 to 2025, it has changed a wide. Everybody is changing their own technologies. थोड़ा ध्यान में रहना है. Risk categorization, how to improve your risk categorization part of it. We'll take question answer. मैं Java से ही it was developed more of a question answer session में. अभी थोड़ा मैं because it is online में था, मैं थोड़ा अंग्रेजी में बात करने में गया था. then मैडम थोड़ा क्षमा करने आए. But I will try to explain other. Your friends will try to explain to you. फिर आपको दोस्त पूरे लोग कोलिग्स है ना मैडम, वो आपको एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. मैं समझता हूँ आपको थोड़ा समझ गए, थोड़ा ध्यान में से. आपको पर्टिकुलरली क्या है, आपको बोर्ड को थोड़ा सुधारना है. बोर्ड को सुधारना है, तो कुछ नॉलेजेबल पीपल को बोर्ड में रखना है. What is it? I told you, if my CA say that, no, what is it? Remuneration committee is not there, audit committee is not there, what do you see that? But your business has grown, but based on your business, you are required to do. You are required to do.